Idaho's abortion ban is about a month away from going into effect, barring any legal action. But the city of Boise has already taken action of its own, with the city council saying last night city resources will not be used to pursue any accusations of abortion. It wasn't unanimous, though. A 3-2 vote, though, means Boise police will not participate in any investigation into such claims, which is kind of a big deal because BPD would have jurisdiction over any crime committed within city limits. So what would this look like? How would the county sheriff or even the state police play into this? How does Mayor Lauren McLean see this playing out? Here's Joe Paris.
3 in favor, 2 opposed, motion carries.
A narrow vote on a widely debated topic, Idaho's new abortion law set to go into effect next month. When that happens, abortions will be illegal in Idaho. There will be exceptions for medical emergencies and instances of rape and incest that are reported to law enforcement. The 3-2 city council vote, though, has implications on how the city of Boise will handle the new law.
This resolution makes clear that the policy of the city of Boise is that we will not divert public safety resources from taking care of our neighborhoods to investigating claims of abortion.
Boise Mayor Lauren McLean applauded the passing of the resolution. It says, quote, "Investigations for the purpose of prosecuting abortion providers will not be prioritized and additional resources or personnel will not be assigned." It goes on to say, "It is the policy of the city of Boise that, except to the extent otherwise required by state or federal law, city funds will not be used to store or catalog any report of performing or attempting to perform an abortion."
Well, unfortunately, we've seen this dropped right in the lap of the city. There's an expectation that we will invade the privacy of doctors, of individuals who are making really tough decisions that ought to be and remain private. And we're not going to reprioritize public safety. The community expects us to keep our neighborhoods safe, to increase the presence of police throughout the city, which we're committed to doing. And the last thing we're going to do is take officers away from keeping people safe and move them into investigations of issues that are deeply private.
The resolution also says that the city will not provide information to any other governmental body, agency, or professional licensing board about any abortion performed or attempted to be performed.
We can talk about it respectfully and we can have different views, and that's okay. Because I do have a different view on this.
Boise City Council member Lucy Willits and Elaine Clegg voted no. Clegg did, however, speak out on the reversal of Roe v. Wade. Willits and Clegg argued that the resolution wasn't needed for a variety of reasons, both saying it goes beyond the purview of the city.
There's a lot of other cities that are doing the same, Seattle, Portland, close by, that are doing the same thing. And I think we need to get back to the business of Boise and not charge into these issues that nationalize our city council, that hyperpolarize local government.
My concern is about keeping our community safe, and we do that by prioritizing community and public safety and making sure that we aren't diverting resources to invade the privacy of our residents.
I worry that by passing resolutions like this, we are hyper-politicizing local government. And for that reason, I'm going to be voting no.
If we don't speak up for our residents at times like these, who will? And that's what we heard loud and clear from people throughout the city in advance, asking us, what can the city do to protect us, to reassure us of who we are as a community in these tough times? And that's what the council did last night. And I deeply appreciate their partnership and leadership.
So how will this all play out? Well, I asked Twin Falls prosecutor and president of the Idaho Prosecuting Attorneys Association for his thoughts on this, Grant Lobes. He tells me, quote, "Practically speaking, the prosecutor can't prosecute cases when there's no investigation. So if a city refuses to investigate, that city's case would have to be investigated by ISP or that county sheriff. It's way too early to tell how many of this will shake out," says Loeb. So Brian, I know there's a lot of questions right now in the community talking about accountability. Would there be some type of mechanism from the state of Idaho to force the city of Boise to invest resources in this, or force the city of Boise to go after claims of illegal abortions in Boise? There's some codes right now that are being discussed in the Idaho legal community. We're hoping to dive into those later this week.
Well, I mean, after all, the executive branch of the government of the state of Idaho, that's to enforce the laws. So I would think, I guess the question is, would ISP reign over the county sheriff, who would reign over the Boise? I mean, there's a lot of lines that have to be crossed in order for this to play out like that.
Yeah. And there's also a conversation, you may remember, some areas like Boise, they had mask mandates that would have been a misdemeanor, a violation. We had groups like the Boise police saying, well, we're not necessarily going to enforce that because we can't be the mask police. So this is kind of in that same arena, but it's a little more complicated and a very different situation than masks.
Very much like we've seen just in the last month with illegal fireworks, right?
Yeah, there's laws on the books. We saw a lot of illegal aerial fireworks over the 4th of July weekend. You ask how many people were actually arrested for doing that, you're not going to find a long list.
Exactly. All right. Thank you very much, Joe.